Hi guys, this is Miss B here to show you how we graph on our graphing calculator. I'm going to do multiple different types of functions. I'm going to do ones with a base. I'm going to do one that is compound interest, and I'm going to do one that is exponential growth. Okay, so first, before we get even here, we need to go and we need to make sure. So if your screen looks like this, you're going to go to the y equals. Okay, that gives you this look. So if my y1 is 0.59 times 1.5 to the power of t, and my y2 is 6, I'm going to enter that in. Okay, so it's just going to look like 0.59, okay, times 1.5. I'm going to raise this to the power of x. I'm going to put a parentheses around it just because I like to make sure that it knows that my x is what I'm going to be raising to the power of. Then I go here to my y2, and my y2 is 6, okay? So this is very small, so I'm going to go to my window. My window needs to make sure that my graph is going to fit inside of it, and I'm going to be able to see my intersection point, okay? So for this, I've already set it. So my x max is 20, that's usually pretty good, and my y max is 20. Just because my y2 is so small, I wanted to make sure that you'd be able to see it when I graphed it. So I'm going to hit graph. Okay, and you're going to see the graph building here, and you're going to see the point where it intersects. It's going to draw it for me. There it is. So I'm going to hit trace. Okay, and see, that gives me x equals 10. That is not the correct answer. Okay, this is not what we want. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to hit second, and you're going to go trace. Then you're going to go down to the number 5, intersect. You're going to hit enter. Okay, then it's going to tell you first curve. You're going to hit enter again. Second curve, hit enter again. And it says it's going to say yes, and you hit enter one last time. Okay, and that gives you an intersection point of 5.7. So for this question, the answer is 5.7. Okay, this y is not important to us. Okay, we just want this. All right, here we're going to do another one. Okay, this one says that our y1 is 250 times e to the power of negative 0.1155t. Okay, so we're going to hit clear. We're going to go into my y plot, okay? We're going to hit clear and clear. So my y1, we're going to enter that. So it's 250 times e, okay? And I need to make sure that my parentheses are there, okay? So I'm going to hit negative 0.1155 x. You want to make sure you put the x in there, and then you want to make sure you put the closing parentheses, okay? If you don't put the closing parentheses, your graph is going to look wrong. So then you're going to go to y2. My y2 is 16, okay? So I'm going to go to my window. Now I'm going to make this to about 30 just to make it clear that my graph is going to appear. I'm going to hit graph, okay? Now you're like, Miss B, where is my graph? That's because my x isn't far enough over, okay? So I'm going to go back to my window. So this is 250. So I'm going to put it at about 50 and see what happens. It's still really far over, okay? So I'm going to go back to my window. I'm going to do my x max at 300, okay? And I'm going to hit graph. Now you definitely see it. Okay, and there's my intersection point. Okay, so sometimes you just have to mess with your window like that, all right? So then I'm going to go to second, trace. I'm going to go down to intersect, hit enter. Okay, that gives me first curve, enter, enter, enter. Okay, and that gives me an answer of, so my x is 23.799. So this would be an x of around 24. Okay, so that's what this is. This is my answer here. All right, so we're going to do another example. Okay, so I'm going to clear this. I'm going to go back to my y plot, and I'm going to clear and clear. So this y plot says my y1 is 878, so I'm going to go 878 e. Okay, my power is 0.121x, closing parentheses. My y2 is 3,000. Okay, so then you're going to go to your window. Okay, so this can still probably be, I'm going to put it at about 300, and I'm going to put my y max. Okay, this doesn't really need to look like this. So this can be, it doesn't matter. My y max is 3,000, so I'm going to put my y max at 5,000 just to make sure that I have it. That's 50,000. delete, okay, at 5,000. And then I'm going to hit graph. Now, that looks really big, so I probably don't need my x to be so big. Okay, you're still going to be able to find it, but I want a better view of my graph. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to put it at 20 and see what I get. Okay, much better. Okay, so sometimes you really do just have to mess around with it and see what you get. So I'm going to go to second, trace, go down to intersect, hit enter, 1, 2, 3. And that gives me an answer of x equals 10.15, or x is about 10.2. Okay, and that's the answer for that. So again, this is the answer that we want. Okay, and finally, okay, this is a giant one. So this is, we're going to be messing around with our window a little bit. So we're going to go to clear. We're going to back to our y plot, clear our y plot out. Okay, so my y1 is 472,000, okay, second e, okay, to the power of 0.154x, closing parentheses, and my y2 is 25 million, so 25, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, okay, then I'm going to make sure my window, now, okay, my y max, if my max is 20, my y2 is 25 million, I'm going to put this at 30 million. So 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then I'm going to hit graph and see what I get. Okay, so this is looking like it's okay, but then you're like, but then the intersection is way out here. So I'm going to go back to my window. Okay, I'm going to put this at about 300 and see what happens. Okay, now it looks like that. This is still really big, so if I still wanted to mess with it, I could come back to my window, and I could go here and say about 150 or 140 and see what I get. That's better. Okay, still not great, but better. Okay, so then it's going to draw my intersection point. I'm going to go to second. I'm going to go to trace, go down to intersect, hit enter 1, 2, 3. That gives me a value of 25.77. Okay, so, or x equals about 25.8. Okay, so that is how you get these questions. Okay, if you still have more questions or you don't have a TI-84 Plus calculator, please email me or send me a text or a message through my Mind app, and I'll do my best to help you out. Okay, until next time, guys.